The world has gone quiet. Shadows stretch across the walls. Let your thoughts grow soft. A story waits in the stillness. If it brings you peace, subscribe, and tap the bell so you never miss a night. Now let the story find you. You step onto the narrow path, the air heavy with the scent of damp moss and river water. The sun has just dipped below the horizon, leaving the sky bruised with streaks of violet and gold. Your sandals crunch against the gravel, each step echoing in the stillness of the evening. The village of Mizukami lies behind you, its lanterns flickering like distant stars, but you are drawn forward toward the river. Something calls you, a whisper not in your ears but in your bones, pulling you to the water's edge. The river runs slow and dark, its surface catching the last glimmers of light. You pause, your breath visible in the cooling air, and kneel by the bank. Your reflection wavers, but it feels unfamiliar, as if the water holds a version of you that knows more than you do. You reach out, fingers brushing the surface, and the ripples spread, carrying your touch into the depths. That's when you see it. A folded piece of paper, half buried in the mud, its edges softened by the river's caress. You pick it up, the paper cool and damp against your skin. It's a haiku written in delicate ink strokes, the kind that seem to dance under your gaze. Moonlight on the stream, soft steps fade where willows weep. Night holds my name close, your heart quickens. The words feel like they were written for you, though you've never been to this part of the river before. You tuck the paper into your sleeve, its weight somehow heavier than it should be. The willows sway above you, their branches whispering secrets to the wind. You stand, intending to head back to the village, but a sound stops you. A soft hum, like a lullaby, drifts from the water. It's faint, almost lost in the rustle of leaves, but it wraps around you, urging you to stay. You turn, scanning the riverbank. A figure stands beneath a willow, half hidden in shadow. It's a woman, her kimono pale as moonlight, her hair falling like ink over her shoulders. She doesn't look at you, her gaze fixed on the water, but you feel her presence, like a thread tied to your chest. You take a step closer, your voice caught in your throat. Who is she? Why does she feel so familiar, like someone you've known in a dream you can't quite recall? The hum grows clearer, and you realize she's singing, her voice weaving through the air like mist. You can't make out the words, but they stir something inside you, a longing you didn't know you carried. You want to call out, to ask her name, but your lips won't move. The river seems to pulse with her song, its current quickening as if answering her. You glance at the haiku in your sleeve and a chill runs through you. The words seem to glow, faintly as if the ink is alive. You take another step, your feet sinking slightly into the soft earth. The woman's song falters, and she turns her head just enough for you to catch the curve of her cheek. Her eyes, though, remain hidden. You feel a pull, like the river itself is urging you closer, but something in you hesitates. The village. Elders' stories echo in your mind, tales of spirits who linger by the water, bound by promises or pain. You shake your head, trying to clear the thought. This is just a woman, you tell yourself. Just a stranger by the river dot, but then she moves. Her steps are silent, gliding over the grass as she drifts toward a bend in the river. You follow, unable to stop yourself, your heart pounding in rhythm with the water's flow. The path narrows, the willows closing in, their branches brushing your shoulders like fingers. You lose sight of her for a moment, and panic flares in your chest. Where did she go? You round the bend, and there she is, standing on a small wooden bridge, her figure framed against the darkening sky. You call out, your voice finally breaking free. Who are you? The words hang in the air, unanswered. She doesn't turn, but her song stops, and the silence feels heavier than before. You step onto the bridge, the wood creaking under your weight. She's so close now, you could almost touch her. But as you reach out, her form seems to shimmer like heat rising from the ground. You blink, and she's gone, leaving only the faint scent of jasmine and the echo of her song. You stand frozen, the haiku burning in your sleeve. The river flows on, untroubled, but you feel changed, as if something has settled into you, something you can't name. You look back toward the village, its lights now faint, and wonder if you should return. But the bridge beneath your feet feels like a threshold, and the night is far from over. You stand on the wooden bridge, the river's murmur filling the silence left by the woman's vanishing. Your hand clutches the haiku, its damp edges pressing into your palm. The night feels alive, the air thick with a presence you can't see but can't ignore. You look down at the water, its surface rippling as if it knows you're watching. The village lights are distant now, and the urge to turn back battles with the pull to follow the path ahead. Something tells you the woman's story, whatever it is, isn't finished with you. You step off the bridge, your sandals sinking into the soft earth of the riverbank. The path winds deeper into the willows, their branches weaving a canopy that blocks the moonlight. Your eyes adjust to the dimness, catching glints of silver where the light sneaks through. The haiku's words echo in your mind. Night holds my name close. You shiver, not from the cold, but from the feeling that the night is indeed watching, waiting for you to take another step. The path leads to a clearing where the river widens, its current slowing to a glassy calm. You pause, your breath catching as you notice something new, a small stone shrine tucked beneath a gnarled tree. Its surface is weathered, moss clinging to its edges, but a single candle burns at its base, its flame steady despite the breeze. You kneel, drawn to it, and see offerings scattered around. Faded ribbons, a broken cone, a child's straw doll. Your fingers brush the doll, and a jolt runs through you, like touching something that remembers pain. You pull back, your heart racing. The haiku feels heavier in your sleeve, and you unfold it again, hoping for answers. The ink seems to shimmer, the words unchanged, but somehow sharper, as if they're speaking directly to you. You whisper them aloud, your voice trembling. Moonlight on the stream, soft steps fade where willows weep. The candle flickers, and you swear the air grows colder, the river's song softening to a hush. A rustle behind you makes you turn. Nothing's there, just the willows swaying, but you feel eyes on you, gentle yet piercing. You stand scanning the clearing and notice footprints in the mud, small and delicate, leading away from the shrine toward the river's edge. They're fresh, as if someone walked here moments ago. Your pulse quickens. Is it her? The woman in the pale kimono? You follow the prints, your own steps careful, as if you're afraid to disturb something sacred. The footprints stop at the water, vanishing where the river laps at the bank. You crouch, searching for a sign, but the mud holds no more secrets. The river reflects your face, and for a moment you think you see her again, her silhouette flickering in the water. You blink, and it's just you, your eyes wide with questions. But the air feels different now, heavier, as if the night is holding its breath. You hear it again, that soft hum, faint but unmistakable. It's coming from further down the river, where the trees grow denser and the path disappears into shadow. You hesitate, glancing back at the shrine. The candle's flame wavers, as if urging you to go on. You tuck the haiku back into your sleeve, its words a quiet anchor, and start walking. The ground grows softer, the air cooler, and the hum grows clearer, weaving through the rustle of leaves like a thread dot as you move deeper. The willows part to reveal a small wooden dock, its planks weathered and slick with moss. At the end of the dock stands a lantern, unlit but gleaming faintly, as if it holds its own light. You step onto the dock, the wood creaking under your weight, and feel a strange pull, like the river is calling you closer. The hum is louder now, and you realize it's not just a sound but a feeling, wrapping around your heart, tugging at memories you didn't know you had. You reach the lantern, your fingers brushing its cold surface. A name is carved into the wood, worn but legible. Ayame. The name stirs something in you, a pang of recognition, though you're certain you've never heard it before. You whisper it, testing its weight on your tongue, and the hum stops abruptly. The silence is deafening, the river still, the willows frozen. You look around, expecting her to appear, but there's only you and the lantern, its faint glow pulsing like a heartbeat. You step back, your chest tight, with a mix of fear and curiosity. The haiku's final line runs through your mind. Night holds my name close. Is Ayame the one who left it? Is she the one singing, drawing you deeper into her world? You glance at the river, its surface smooth as glass, and feel a sudden urge to touch it, to see if it holds her reflection again. But something stops you, a whisper in your mind that says to wait, to listen, to let the night reveal itself. You turn away from the dock, your eyes lingering on the lantern. The path back to the village is still there, but it feels distant, like a memory from another life. The river flows on, quiet but insistent, and you know you're not ready to leave. Not yet. The night has more to show you, and Ayame, whoever she is waiting. You stand by the dock, the lantern's faint glow casting shadows that dance across the river's surface. The name Ayame lingers in your mouth, its syllables heavy, like a promise you didn't mean to make. The night is quiet now, the hum gone. But the air feels charged, as if the world is waiting for your next move. You glance at the haiku in your sleeve, its words a quiet pulse in your mind. Soft steps fade where willows weep. You feel them guiding you, pulling you deeper into the river's secrets. The path beyond the dock is barely visible, swallowed by the willow's drooping branches. You take a step, your sandals sinking into the damp earth, and the air grows cooler, carrying the faint scent of jasmine. It's her scent, you're sure of it, the woman in the pale kimono. Your heart beats faster, torn between turning back and following the invisible thread that ties you to her. You choose to go on, the river's gentle murmur urging you forward. The willows part, revealing a narrow trail that hugs the riverbank. Moonlight filters through the branches, painting the ground in silver patches. You walk carefully, your eyes scanning for signs of her, a footprint, a ripple, anything. The trail leads to a small stone bridge, its arch worn smooth by time. You pause, your hand brushing the cold stone, and notice carvings etched into its surface. Their names, dozens of them, some faded, others sharp, as if carved yesterday. You search for Ayame, but the darkness makes it hard to read. You cross the bridge, the river's song growing louder, almost urgent. On the other side, the path opens into a grove of cherry trees, their blossoms long gone, leaving bare branches that twist toward the sky. At the center of the grove stands a wooden gate, its red paint peeling, but still vibrant in the moonlight. You approach, your fingers tracing the gate's weathered surface, and feel a faint vibration, like the echo of a heartbeat. The haiku's words whisper in your mind, moonlight on the stream. You push the gate, and it opens with a soft creak, revealing a garden overgrown with wildflowers and vines. At its heart is a pond, its surface still as glass, reflecting the moon. Like a perfect mirror, you step closer, drawn to it, and kneel by the edge. Your reflection stares back, but it's not alone. Beside it, faint and flickering, is her face, the woman from the river. Her eyes meet yours in the water, dark and endless, and you feel a pull, like she's reaching for you through the reflection. You lean closer, your breath stirring the pond's surface. "Ayame," you whisper, and the water ripples her image, wavering but not disappearing. You feel a sudden warmth in your sleeve, and when you pull out the haiku, the ink seems to pulse, the words glowing faintly. You read them again, your voice barely audible. "Night holds my name close." The air shifts, and you hear her hum again, soft and mournful, coming from the far side of the pond. You stand, your eyes searching the shadows. She's there, under a cherry tree, her kimono catching the moonlight. She's closer now, her face clearer, but her eyes remain hidden, shadowed by her hair. You take a step, then another, your heart pounding. "Who are you?" you ask, your voice trembling but firm. She doesn't answer, but her lips curve into a faint smile, sad and knowing. She raises a hand, pointing to the pond, and you feel a tug, like the water itself is calling you back. You return to the pond, unable to resist, and kneel again. This time the reflection shows more than her face. You see a memory not yours, but vivid. A young woman, Ayame, standing by this very pond, her hands clasped around a letter. She's crying, her tears falling into the water, and a man's voice, sharp and angry, echoes in the distance. The scene shifts, and you see her running, her kimono catching on branches, her breath ragged. The river appears, and she stops, her face lit by moonlight, her eyes full of resolve. The vision fades, and you're back in the garden, your hands trembling. The haiku feels alive in your grip, its words a bridge to her story. You look up, but she's gone again, her presence lingering in the jasmine-scented air. The pond is still, but you feel her watching, her story unfinished. You want to call out, to ask what happened, but the night holds you in its quiet grip, urging you to listen, to wait. You stand, your legs unsteady, and notice a path leading out of the garden deeper into the grove. The hum returns, faint but persistent, guiding you forward. You tuck the haiku back into your sleeve, its weight a reminder of the bond you formed with her, whoever she is. The gate creaks behind you as you leave the garden, the cherry trees whispering secrets you can't yet understand. The river flows nearby, its song a constant companion, and you know you're not alone. Ayame's story is pulling you deeper, and the night is far from done with you. You step out of the garden, the gate's soft creak fading behind you as the cherry trees close in. The path ahead is narrow, barely a thread through the grove, and the moonlight struggles to pierce the tangled branches. The river's song is softer now, a low hum that blends with the rustle of leaves, but Ayame's presence lingers, her jasmine scent curling around you like a memory. The haiku in your sleeve feels warm, its words a quiet rhythm in your mind. Soft steps fade where willows weep. You walk on, each step pulling you deeper into her world. The grove thickens, the air heavy with the weight of unspoken stories. Your sandals brush against roots that twist across the path, and you steady yourself, your hand grazing a tree trunk. It's then you notice the carvings, names, dates, fragments of poetry etched into the bark, worn by time but still legible. You pause, your fingers tracing one that reads Ayame, forever by the river. Your breath catches. Is this her mark? A promise? A curse? The haiku's final line echoes. Night holds my name close. You move forward, the path sloping downward, closer to the river. The trees part, revealing a small clearing where the water bends sharply, forming a pool that glimmers under the moon. You stop, your heart quickening as you see something floating on the surface. A single white petal, delicate and untouched by the current. You kneel by the pool, your reflection wavering, and for a moment you think you see her again, her pale kimono shimmering in the water's depths. But it's just a petal spinning slowly, as if caught in a dance. You reach for it, your fingers brushing the water, and a ripple spreads, carrying a faint hum. It's her song, softer now, almost a whisper, but it wraps around you, tugging at your heart. You pull back, the petal slipping from your grasp, and notice something else. A small wooden box, half buried in the mud at the pool's edge. You dig it free, your hands trembling, and brush off the dirt. The box is old, its surface carved with willows and a single word, Ayame. You hesitate, the weight of her name heavy in the air. The box feels alive, its wood warm under your touch, and you sense it holds something she left behind. You open it, the hinge creaking, and find a locket inside, silver and tarnished, shaped like a crescent moon. You lift it, the chain cool against your skin, and click it open. Inside is a tiny portrait, faded but clear enough to show a young woman with dark eyes and a sad smile. It's her, you're certain, though the locket feels heavier than it should, as if it carries her grief. You close the locket, your mind racing. The vision from the pond flashes back. Ayame running, her tears falling, a man's voice chasing her. Was this locket hers? A gift? A keepsake? You slip it into your sleeve beside the haiku, and the hum grows louder, coming from the far side of the pool. You stand, your eyes scanning the shadows, and see her again, standing beneath a willow, her kimono catching the moonlight. She's closer now, her face almost visible, but her eyes remain shadowed, unreachable. You take a step toward her, your voice soft. Ayame, what happened to you? She doesn't answer, but her head tilts slightly, as if she hears you. Her hand rises, pointing across the pool to where the path continues, disappearing into the trees. You want to follow, to demand answers, but her presence feels fragile, like a dream you might wake from if you move too fast. The hum fades, and she steps back, her form blending with the shadows until she's gone. You cross the pool, your steps careful on the slick stones, and follow the path she indicated. The river stays close, its murmur a constant guide, but the air grows colder, the jasmine scent fading. You feel the locket and haiku in your sleeve, their weight grounding you as the path winds deeper into the grove. The trees seem to lean closer, their branches whispering secrets you can't quite hear. You glance back at the pool, the pedal still spinning, and wonder if you're walking toward answers or deeper into her story. The path ends at a stone lantern, its base covered in moss, its light long extinguished. You kneel, your fingers brushing the stone, and find another carving. Ayame bound by the river's vow. Your heart pounds. What vows? What vow? What keeps her here, tied to this place? The haiku's words stir again, urging you to keep going, but the night feels heavier now, as if it's testing you. You stand, the lantern's shadow stretching across the path, and see the river ahead, its surface glinting like a mirror. You know she's waiting, her story unfolding with every step you take. You stand before the stone lantern, its moss-covered base cool under your touch. The river glimmers nearby, its surface catching the moonlight like a sheet of silver. The locket and haiku rest heavy in your sleeve, their presence a quiet reminder of Ayame's story weaving itself around you. The air is thick, charged with the scent of wet earth and a faint trace of jasmine that lingers like a memory. You feel her watching, though the path ahead. You step forward, the river's murmur guiding your steps as the path narrows, winding closer to the water. The trees grow denser, their branches interlocking above, forming a tunnel of leaves that blocks all but slivers of moonlight. Your sandals sink into the soft earth, each step deliberate, as if the ground itself is testing your resolve. You clutch the locket, its crescent shape pressing into your palm, and wonder what vow binds Ayame to this place. A carving on the lantern bound by the river's vow echoes in your thoughts, a puzzle you're not yet ready to solve. The path opens to a small inlet where the river pools, its surface so still it mirrors the stars above. You pause, your breath catching as you notice something new, a wooden boat tethered to a post, bobbing gently in the current. Its paint is chipped, but the wood gleams faintly, as if polished by unseen hands. You approach, your fingers brushing the boat's edge, and feel a warmth like it's been waiting for you. A single oar rests inside, its handle worn smooth by time. You glance at the water, and there she is again, her reflection shimmering in the pool. Ayame's face is clearer, now her dark eyes meeting yours, filled with a sadness that tugs at your heart. You kneel, drawn to her, and whisper her name. The reflection ripples, and for a moment, you see another scene. Ayame standing in this very boat, her kimono fluttering as she rows, her face lit by moonlight. A man stands on the shore, his figure blurred but his voice sharp, calling her back. She doesn't turn, her hand steady on the oar, her eyes fixed on the river ahead. The vision fades, leaving you breathless. You stand, your hands trembling, and look at the boat. The haiku's words stir, soft steps fade where willows weep. Is this what she wants? For you to follow her path, to take the boat and see where it leads? You hesitate, the village is distant. Lights a faint pull back to safety, but the river's song is stronger, urging you forward. You step into the boat, the wood creaking under your weight, and untie the rope. The current catches you, gentle but insistent, carrying you downstream. The boat glides smoothly, the river's surface unbroken except for the soft ripples from your oar. You row slowly, the motion calming despite the weight in your chest. The willows lean over the water, their branches brushing the surface like fingers, and you feel her presence closer now, as if she's guiding the boat. The locket grows warm in your sleeve, and you pull it out, its silver glinting in the moonlight. You open it again, staring at her portrait, and notice something new, a tiny inscription inside, barely legible. To Ayame, my heart's vow. Your breath catches. Was this locket a gift from the man in the vision? A promise broken or kept? You close it, tucking it back with the haiku, and focus on the river. The current quickens, pulling you around a bend where the trees thin, revealing a small island in the river's heart. It's overgrown with reeds, a single willow standing at its center, its branches trailing into the water. You steer the boat toward it, your heart pounding as the hum returns, her song weaving through the air. You reach the island, the boat scraping against the shore. You step out, your feet sinking into the soft ground, and tie the rope to a root. The hum is louder now, coming from the willow, and you walk toward it, your eyes scanning the shadows. She's there, standing beneath the tree, her kimono pale as moonlight, her hair falling over her shoulders. She's so close you can see the delicate curve of her lips, but her eyes remain hidden, shadowed by sorrow. You call her name, your voice soft but steady. Ayame, why are you here? She doesn't answer, but her hand rises, pointing to the base of the willow. You kneel, your fingers brushing the earth, and find a small stone tablet, half buried. You unearth it, revealing her name carved in deep, careful strokes, alongside another, Hiroshi. Your heart skips. Is this the man from the vision? The one who called her back? The hum fades, and she steps closer, her presence wrapping around you like mist. You feel her story pressing against you, begging to be understood. But the night holds its secrets close, and you know you must keep going. You stand beneath the willow on the small island. The stone tablets carve names, Ayame and Hiroshi, heavy in your mind. The river flows around you, its current a soft whisper, as if urging you to listen closer. The locket and haiku rest in your sleeve, their warmth a quiet anchor against the night's chill. The jasmine scent lingers, faint but persistent, and you feel Ayame's presence, her story pressing against you like a tide. The haiku's words hum softly. Night holds my name close. You kneel by the tablet again, your fingers tracing the names. The stone is cool, worn smooth by years of rain, but it feels alive, as if it holds a piece of her. You look up, half expecting to see her under the willow, but the shadows are empty, her form gone for now. The river glints under the moonlight, and you notice a faint glow near the water's edge, where the reeds part. You stand, drawn to it, and find a small paper lantern, unlit but shimmering, as if it carries its own light. You lift the lantern, its delicate frame light in your hands. Inside is a folded note, its edges soft from time. You unfold it carefully, your heart quickening, as you recognize the same delicate script as the haiku. It reads, Hiroshi, my heart waits where the river bends, your breath catches. The words feel like a confession, a promise left unanswered. You glance at the tablet, then back at the note, and the vision from the boat flickers in your mind. Ayame rowing, Hiroshi's voice calling her back, her face set with determination. You tuck the note into your sleeve beside the locket and haiku, and feel a shift in the air, like the night is drawing you deeper. The river's song grows louder, guiding you to the far side of the island, where a narrow path leads back to the water. You follow it, the lantern in your hand, casting faint shadows that dance across the reeds. The path slopes down the ground, soft and slick, and you steady yourself, the names Ayame and Hiroshi echoing in your thoughts. The path ends at a shallow cove where the river pools into a quiet basin. You set the lantern down, its glow reflected in the water, and kneel by the edge. Your reflection stares back, but it's not alone. Ayame's face appears beside yours, her dark eyes clear now, filled with a longing that mirrors your own curiosity. You whisper her name, and the water ripples, revealing another vision. I am standing in this cove, her kimono wet from the river, her hands clutching the locket. Hiroshi stands before her, his face anguished, his words sharp but laced with pain. You can't leave, he says, but she shakes her head, her voice soft. The river keeps my vow. The vision fades, and you're left staring at the water, your heart pounding. The locket feels heavier now, its inscription to Ayame, my heart's vow, burning in your mind. Was Hiroshi the one who bound her here, or was it her own choice? A vow she made to the river? You stand, the lantern's light steady in your hand, and notice footprints in the mud, small and delicate, leading away from the cove toward a cluster of willows. You follow them, the river's murmur a constant companion. The willows part, revealing a small shrine, its wooden frame weathered but adorned with fresh flowers. You approach, your steps slow, and see a name carved into the shrine's base. Hiroshi? Your breath catches. The flowers are jasmine, their scent wrapping around you, and you feel her presence again, stronger now, as if she's standing beside you. You kneel, your fingers brushing the shrine, and find a small offering, a folded fan. It's silk-faded but painted with willows and a flowing river. You lift the fan, its weight light but significant, and open it. Inside is another haiku, written in the same delicate script. Willows guard my heart, river carries all I loved, moonlight holds me still. Your voice trembles as you read it aloud, the words weaving into the night. The air grows colder, and you hear her hum again, soft and mournful, coming from the river. You turn, expecting to see her, but the cove is empty. The lantern's glow the only light. You tuck the fan into your sleeve, its presence joining the locket, haiku, and note, each piece a fragment of her story. You stand, the shrine's jasmine scent lingering, and look toward the river. The footprints lead back to the water, disappearing where the current flows strongest. You feel a pull, like the river itself is calling you to follow, to understand the vow that binds her. The island feels smaller now, the willows closing in, and you know you're not done. Ayame's story is unfolding, piece by piece, and the night is leading you closer to its heart. You stand by the small shrine, the jasmine flowers' scent curling around you, mixing with the river's damp breath. The fan, locket, haiku, and note rest in your sleeve, each item a weight that ties you to Ayame's story. The river flows steadily, its surface catching the moonlight in soft glimmers, and you feel her presence, a quiet pull urging you back to the water. The new haiku's words echo in your mind. River carries all I loved. You sense the truth is close, hidden in the current's endless flow. The footprints you followed lead back to the cove, where the river pools in a quiet embrace. You kneel by the water, the lantern's faint glow casting shadows that dance across the surface. Your reflection wavers, and for a moment you see her again, Ayame's face beside yours, her eyes dark with unspoken sorrow. You reach out, your fingers brushing the water and the ripples spread, carrying a faint hum, her song weaving through the night. It's softer now, almost a plea, as if she's asking you to understand. You stand, the lantern in one hand, and follow the footprints along the cove's edge. They lead to a narrow path that winds back into the willows, the trees leaning close, their branches brushing your shoulders. The air grows cooler, the jasmine scent fading, replaced by the earthy smell of the riverbank. You walk carefully, your heart pounding, each step feeling like a step deeper into her world. The haiku's words guide you. Moonlight holds me still. The path opens to a clearing where the river bends sharply, forming a deep pool surrounded by smooth stones. At its center stands a single stone pillar, its surface carved with intricate patterns of willows and waves. You approach, your fingers tracing the carvings, and find two names etched side by side, Ayame and Hiroshi. Your breath catches. The pillar feels warm, as if it holds the memory of their vows, their pain. You kneel, the lantern's light revealing. A small offering at the pillar's base, a single willow branch tied with a white ribbon. You lift the branch, its leaves soft against your skin, and notice a tiny scroll tied to the ribbon. You unroll it, your hands trembling, and find another message in her delicate script. Hiroshi, the river keeps us both. The words hit you like a wave, and the vision from the cove returns. Ayame in the boat, Hiroshi on the shore, their voices tangled in anger and love. You see her now, standing by this very pillar, her hands clutching the locket, her eyes fixed on the river as if it could carry her away from her pain. You tuck the scroll into your sleeve, its weight joining the others, and feel a shift in the air. The hum grows louder, coming from the pool, and you turn, your eyes scanning the water. She's there, standing on the far side, her kimono pale and luminous, her hair falling like ink. Her face is clearer now, her eyes visible for the first time, dark and endless, filled with a longing that makes your chest ache. You call her name, your voice soft but steady. Ayame, what keeps you here? She doesn't answer, but her lips part and the hum becomes a song, its melody weaving through the air like a thread. You step closer, the stones slick under your feet, and feel the river's pull, stronger now, as if it wants you to join her. She raises a hand, pointing to the pillar, and you look again, noticing something new. A faint crack running through the stone, splitting the names apart. Your heart sinks. Is this what binds her? A vow broken, a love fractured? You kneel by the pillar, your fingers brushing the crack, and feel a jolt, like touching a live wire. Another vision floods your mind, Ayame and Hiroshi standing here, there, hands clasped, their voices soft as they make a promise under the moonlight. But the scene shifts, and you see him turn away, his face hard, her tears falling into the river. She whispers something, her words lost to the water, and the pillar cracks, As if the river itself mourns their parting, the vision fades, and you're back in the clearing, the lantern's light steady in your hand. Ayame is gone, but her song lingers, wrapping around you like a vow of its own. You stand, the willow branch in your hand, and look at the river. The pool is still, but you feel her story pressing against you, urging you to follow the current to its end. The path continues beyond the clearing, disappearing into the shadows, and you know you're close to understanding her truth. The night is quiet, but the river is waiting, and Ayame's heart is still calling. You stand by the cracked stone pillar, the willow branch in your hand, its white ribbon fluttering in the faint breeze. The river flows around the clearing, its surface a mirror for the moonlight, and the weight of Ayame's story presses against you. The locket, haiku, note, fan, and scroll rest in your sleeve, each piece a fragment of her heart pulling you toward the truth. Her song lingers in the air, soft and mournful, and you feel her presence closer now, as if she's waiting for you to finish what she began. The haiku's words whisper in your mind. Moonlight holds me still. You step away from the pillar, your eyes drawn to the path that wanes beyond the clearing, deeper into the willows. The river stays close, its murmur a steady guide, urging you forward. The air is heavy, scented with damp earth and the faintest trace of jasmine, and you know she's near, her story ready to unfold. You walk slowly, the path narrowing as the trees close in, their branches brushing your shoulders like a gentle touch. The moonlight fades, but the lantern in your hand casts a soft glow, lighting your way. The path ends at a small waterfall where the river cascades over smooth rocks into a deep, still pool. The water glimmers, reflecting the stars, and you feel a pull, like the river itself is calling you closer. You kneel by the pool, the lantern's light dancing across the surface, and see your reflection, alone this time. But the air shifts, and her hum returns, weaving through the sound of the waterfall. You look up, and there she is, standing on a flat rock at the pool's edge, her kimono pale and luminous, her eyes clear and bright, filled with a quiet resolve. You stand, your heart pounding, and call her name. Ayame, tell me your story. Your voice is soft, but it carries over the water, and she tilts her head as if hearing you for the first time. She steps closer, her feet silent on the rock, and raises a hand, pointing to the pool. You kneel again, your eyes fixed on the water, and a vision forms, clearer than any before. You see Ayame and Hiroshi by this very waterfall, their hands clasped, their voices soft as they whisper promises under the moonlight. She gives him the locket, her smile radiant, but his face is shadowed, torn between love and duty. The scene shifts, and you see her alone, her kimono wet from the river, her hands trembling as she carves their names into the pillar. Hiroshi's voice echoes, distant but sharp, telling her he must leave, bound by a vow to another. Her tears fall into the water, and she whispers to the river, her voice steady despite her pain. Keep me here, where my heart stays. The waterfall roars, as if sealing her vow, and the vision fades, leaving you breathless. You look up, and Ayame is closer now, standing at the water's edge, her eyes locked on yours. You feel her sorrow, her love, her choice to bind herself to the river, unable to let go of what she lost. You pull the locket from your sleeve, its inscription glinting, to Ayame, my heart's vow. You hold it out, your voice trembling. Is This what keeps you here. She doesn't answer, but her hand reaches out, her fingers brushing yours, cool and fleeting, like a breeze over the water. You open your sleeve, laying out the haiku, note, fan, and scroll beside the locket. Each piece glows faintly, as if alive with her story. You read the haiku aloud, your voice blending with the waterfall. Moonlight on the stream, soft steps fade where willows weep. Night holds my name close. The air shimmers, and Ayame steps into the pool, her form blending with the water. Her song rises clear and strong, and you feel her release, her vow loosening as the river carries her offerings away. You watch as the locket, haiku, note, fan, and scroll dissolve into the water, their glow fading into the current. Ayame's form wavers, her eyes softening, a faint smile on her lips. She steps back, her kimono merging with the moonlight, and you know she's free, her story finally told. The waterfall quiet, the river's song softening, and you're alone by the pool. The lantern's light steady in your hand. You stand, the night calm around you, and feel a lightness in your chest, as if her story has left a piece of itself with you. The path back to the village is clear now, the willows parting to reveal the way. But you pause, looking at the pool one last time. The river flows on, carrying Ayame's heart, and you know you've been part of something sacred, a story that will linger long after you leave. Some stories stay with us long after the words fade. Let this one rest beside you. Sleep deeply, and if it returns in your dreams, perhaps it was never truly gone.